In this video, I'm going to show you how to build muscle with a kettlebell and your body weight, part 2. Yo, what's up, man? Hector here, StrongSec.com. If you're new to this channel, my name's Hector Gutierrez Jr. For over a decade, I've been running a kettlebell-only facility here in Corpus Christi, Texas, where I've been helping guys just like you build strong and resilient bodies in 90 minutes or less per week so they can have more time to do things like Jiu-Jitsu or whatever it is that you enjoy and less time trying to be the best at exercise. If that sounds like you, welcome to the channel. Let's dive into today's episode. All right, so before I get into today's episode, if you haven't watched the first video in this muscle building series, be sure to watch this video first. It'll give you good context of what we're talking about, okay? Take you through all of our strength training philosophy, etc. So I'm just gonna dive right into the material today, okay? So, last episode, we talked about upper body push. We went through 3 specific exercises that I recommend for upper body push, particularly around training movement patterns. So we don't focus on training muscle groups. Like, I'm not going to focus on trying to build my biceps, etc. Your body really doesn't, your brain in a sense doesn't really understand muscles. It understands movement patterns. Okay, it knows that I need to do this with my arm to feed myself, etc. Okay, so it understands movement patterns. And when you learn how to train movement pattern, that's how you boost performance. That's how you can build muscle quickly and more efficiently, etc., etc. So what we're going to talk about today is upper body pull. Okay, upper body pull. So the 3 exercises that we've got for you today is the row, the chin up, and the pull up. Okay, so the row, you'll have 2 different variations based on how you want to do this. The row is a horizontal pulling pattern. So you're either going to be doing like an inverted row, like on a pair of gymnastic rings, TRX system, etc. Or you can have like a barbell lowered down on a rack and you can work on the lower body, inverted rows there. You've got the kettlebell row that you can do as well. And you also have the good old-fashioned barbell row. You could do any of those, all right? But the reason why we're going with the rings and the kettlebell today is because we want to find something that follows a less is more approach, that has fewer moving parts. So you don't have to have barbells and all kinds of barbell plates. I'm not against barbell training. I love barbell deadlifting, but we're looking for just that minimalist approach, something that you can do pretty much anywhere, anytime. Doesn't matter if you're traveling, going on vacation, what have you, you can do this anywhere, all right? And so the one that we're going to focus on right now is the row. Now, if you're traveling, you're not always going to have a pair of rings with you. Well, you can actually take rings with you, throw them over a tree branch, and then you're in business. But let's say you don't have rings, you've got your good old trusty kettlebell, all right? So how you're going to do the row is I'm going to keep this just very simple, all right? So I recommend 1 kettlebell so you can address asymmetries. You can test both left and right sides, okay? So the way you're going to want to do the row is I recommend doing it within your legs, basically in a sumo stance. Okay? And as we mentioned in past episodes, we want to make sure that when we're sitting our hips back, we want our hips above our knees, our shoulders above our hips. Okay? So we don't want our hips below our knees, that's a squat. We don't want our shoulders below our hips. Okay? Hips above the knees, shoulders above the hips. And a good way to establish that position is just get into what we call the short stop position. So short stop position, chest up. That's it. This is the hinge. Okay? So from here, you'll get short stop position. Have the kettlebell aligned to the arch of the foot. Like literally put the arch of your foot on the bell and just put your foot down. Okay? Align the bell to the same side of the body that you're going to do the pulling. Do not put the bell in between your legs. Okay? Here's why. Because once I grab the bell, my shoulders rotate. And now I'm not symmetrical. Sure, I can try to like cram myself into position, but then I'm just not aligned properly. So I highly recommend align the bell to the same side. The same would go for if you're going to do 1-arm kettlebell swings, clean, snatches, align everything to that side. Okay? So that way when you get into the short stop position and you come down, you're square, you're lined up. Okay? Focus on keeping that shoulder connected. So The reason why I say do with one arm is because as you pull, we want to know, like, can we resist rotary torque? So when I pull, can I not break? Think of like my shoulders and my hips as like a frame. Think of that frame, that it's a 4-point structure. Can I pull that and not break the integrity of that 4-point structure? So when I pull, does my shoulder come disconnected? Do my shoulders rotate, right? So we want to keep that 4-point structure intact. So if I were to pull, and let's say this video was cut off and you can only see elbows up, you should not be able to identify if I had 1 kettlebell, 2 kettlebells, or barbell, right? If all you could see was elbow up, you shouldn't be able to know if I'm getting ready to row a barbell, kettlebell, 1 or 2, all right? So align yourself here. You're going to get into a hinge, and then what you're going to do is just going to slightly deadlift the belt up, okay? Here. Maintain this position. When you do this, when you load this side of your body, you're going to really feel the opposite side of the body light up, okay? You're going to feel you're going to feel your lower back, you're going to feel your fancy word here, your QL, quadratus lumborum, you're going to feel that light up, okay? So don't be alarmed. That's just how it works, and that's why we want to address it. 1 kettlebell in the beginning. You can always go to bilateral movements where you're rowing with the barbell, doing with the rings, but I recommend starting with the kettlebell so you can identify asymmetries, okay? Identify your weaknesses so you can improve those. So line up here, and then what I recommend when you row is I keep your palm facing back between your legs, and then as you row, just turn it, like corkscrew it, and this is going to work the rotator cuff, okay? Pull, and I want you to imagine you're pulling your elbow to your back pocket. Here, you're going to pull to your back pocket, okay? And then, like, pinch your shoulder blades a little bit, okay? So when you pull here, don't pull this way because now shoulder's disconnected. We want that shoulder to stay connected. So focus on pulling back towards your back pocket, all right? So I'll do from the side here. Okay, and then you're going to do the other side, and I'm just going to do the other side so that way I'm not running around in circles. But very simple. Make sure you keep your abs braced. If you want, you can power breathe it, but the bell's not going to be too heavy to where you need to do that. I would just brace your midsection, and you can power breathe if you need to. So you see how I'm keeping it right here, all right? This is actually going to improve your kettlebell clean too, by the way, because the kettlebell clean is essentially a row with a hip snap, right? So if you can accomplish this very well, it's the kettlebell clean, right? Because the kettlebell clean, you hike the bell back this way, and then as you pull, you're going to do an inverted row. Not inverted row. You're going to do a kettlebell row. You're going to turn the hand this way, and then it's going to end up in the rack. Okay? So this is the foundation of your kettlebell clean. So little nugget there for you. And that's pretty much it for the row. Again, it's that simple. Just get into your short stop position. Keep your abs braced. Align the bell to the same side that you're pulling. Deadlift up about 6 inches or so, just enough to where it's just hanging. And then from there, you're going to pull back like you're rowing to your back pocket. Repetitions, we're trying to build muscle mass. I recommend somewhere between the 5 to 8 repetition range, but you can even stay within the 3 to 5 repetition range. You'll just do more sets. At the end of the day, muscle is about building the volume, and then of course if you're eating correctly, you're going to see some of that muscle growth, all right? So practice 3 to 5 repetitions, both sides. You can head up into the 8 repetition range, that's fine. Set a timer for like 25, 30 minutes and practice this throughout your training practice. Or it could just be a warm-up. Okay, you could start your warm-up with 3 sets of 5 row per side, and then from there get into your main training session for the day. Okay, so that is the row. All right, so next we're going to cover the inverted row. Now, you can do this with a pair of gymnastic rings. If you don't have a pull-up bar, again, if you're doing this at home, if you have a tree, loop it over. These are pretty long. I'm not sure how long these are, but these are almost 30 feet, I want to say. I think I might have even upgraded to the 40 feet because I thought about hanging these from the ceiling of my gym. But these are pretty long, so you can loop these over a tree and you can practice your rows at home as well, okay, if you don't have a pull-up bar. But if you do have a pull-up bar, just lace them over the top of your pull-up bar and then you're in business, right? But if you don't have gymnastic rings, you can also use a TRX system, okay? Now, a lot of the principles that we covered here are going to be the same with the kettlebell row. A lot of them are going to apply to the rings as well, all right? And so here's how the rings work. Just like push-up progression and regression, the more parallel your body is to the floor, the more difficult the exercise is going to be. Just like the push-up, like I mentioned. The more weight that is in your hands, the more difficult. The more weight that's in your feet, the more easier. Is that a word? More easier? More easiest? So same thing goes with the ring, okay? Like let's say if I was going to do a push-up from here. The more parallel I am to the floor, more difficult. But the more like vertical, like from this position, the more upright I am, the easier, the less intense the exercise will be. So the same thing goes for our row, all right? So what you're going to do here is you're going to find what works for you, okay? You're going to find the elevation that works. So what's tricky about bodyweight training is you can't really train at a specific percentage of rep max, right? It's like kettlebell, I can use a 24, I can use different kettlebell sizes, and then from there, I can progress, I can scale the exercise, right? Body weight is your body weight. Like unless you're willing to lop off one of your legs, you can't make your body weight lighter. So how you do it is elevations, and that's kind of what the rings provide, okay? The rings are a great, or even a TRX system, the rings are a great progression to your first chin-up or pull-up. So here's how you do it. You're going to start you're going to start relatively high, and this will be pretty easy. Like you'll notice like this is not a challenge at all, okay? And then you're just going to lower yourself. So you're going to get into an extended position. You're going to lower yourself. And then you're going to find that difficulty. Now, just like we talked about with the kettlebell, I want to make sure my shoulders stay connected. I do not want my shoulders to become disconnected. I want to stay connected here. Also, I recommend keeping your feet directly underneath your knees. Okay? Do not be straight like this because you'll just slip. Keep your feet underneath your knees. I hope my feet are underneath my knees, okay? Squeeze your glutes and keep your hips up. And then from here, same thing as the kettlebell row. My palms are facing down. I'm going to inhale, and I'm going to pull, turning my palms facing each other, and I'm going to hold for a 1 count, and then I'm going to come down under control. And then from there, I'm going to perform my repetitions. The more challenging you want to make this exercise, the more parallel that you go. All right, so demonstrate. Walk my way in, and I like to get, for me personally, I like to get like as parallel to the deck as possible. Okay, my feet are underneath my knees. Keep my glutes engaged. Inhale. And then from here, you can walk yourself out, but I keep these rings pretty low when I do them, so I can always just sit down and come right out of it. Okay? It's literally that simple. That is the inverted row. You can do this with a barbell, like I said. If you got a barbell rack, you can lower that barbell, you can pull from there. But I recommend doing it with a ring, so that way you can kind of get that internal, external rotation. Works the rotator cuff, and it's patterned along the same lines as the kettlebell row. So that is the inverted row, all right? Same concept here. For building muscle, it's nothing new. Keep your rep ranges, if you're trying to build muscle, anywhere between 3 to 5 or even 5 to 8. If you go 5 to 8, you're gonna need longer rest, okay? But I recommend, just if you're a beginner, 3 to 5 repetitions, and then from there, build your volume up. Set a timer, 30 minutes, and practice. Track how many sets that you do, and work your way up. If you get 30 repetitions in, let's say in your first practice, shoot for 40 repetitions or so. If you can make a 20% jump, if you can try to do that. Whatever a 20% add on to 30% is, let's say another 10, 12 repetitions, try to get 40, 42 repetitions and make that, or 20% less. Maybe you're tired, maybe you're fatigued. Then you're gonna do 15 or 20 repetitions the next day, all right? So that's the row. Now, the next exercise is the chin up, okay? Good old fashioned chin up, and I'm gonna show you a couple of different regressions for the chin up, okay? So the row, whether it's barbell row, kettlebell row, inverted row, that's a horizontal pulling pattern. Chin up is going to be vertical, right? Just like our pressing, our vertical pulling pattern. Okay, so from here, you're going to really work your biceps, you're going to work your lats, you're going to work your abs, and you're going to train your grip. Okay, so the chin up and even the pull up, but I really like the chin up, is a great counter exercise to the dip. Even again, the pull-up is a great counter exercise to the dip as well, because the dip takes us into this shoulder extension, okay? Trains the triceps. And the reason why I like the chin up is because it's a great counter towards a overhead shoulder flexion exercise, and it works the biceps, okay? So I like the chin up as a great counter to the dip that I covered in the first episode, okay? So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you a regression of the chin up in case you're not ready for chin ups yet, okay? If you're not ready for chin ups yet, then you're gonna do this regression. From there, you'll hop up on the bar and you'll pretty much do the exact same thing, okay? Okay, now this might look really weird, but this works really well. So this is a 4-foot dowel that I got at I've got a whole bunch of these. This is just a 4-foot dowel. I think it's a 1 1/4 inch 4-foot dowel that I bought at a hardware store. And I bought like 10 of them because we use them here for our students. And I like them for pull-up regression stuff. All I'm doing here is I loop it through the strap. Okay, I loop it through the strap. And then from here, I take the ring and I just loop the ring over the top. Okay, boom. And now you've got a makeshift pull-up bar. And believe it or not, you would think this like moves a lot. It actually doesn't move that much. Again, looks odd, but works really well, okay? And it's a great way to bring the bar down lower to you. Instead of having to stack up boxes and get up to the top, which you can do, this is gonna be a little more practical, I think. So here's how you can do this, chin up. Again, if you're not ready for strict chin up, this is what you're gonna do. Now, what I recommend here is grip width. Your grip width, shoulder, like a military press, or push-up position, kettlebell military press, whatever that is, you're just going to step right up and grab. That's it. You can do different grips, but keep it here. I wouldn't go any wider than this because then that starts to put strain on the elbow. So keep it wrist aligned to the elbow. You can come in a little bit if you want to, okay? So here. Now, I recommend a thumbless grip. So you're not gonna grab like this, you're gonna grab like this, thumb over the top. So here, here, okay? You're not gonna grab here, all right? And we're just going to work on patterning the chin up. So I'm going to use my legs. Remember what I said? The more weight that's in my legs, the easier the exercise. The more weight that's in my arms, so if I were to actually get on the bar, all the weight is in my arms, making it very challenging. That's why pull-ups and chin-ups are very hard for people, okay? So, shoulder width, okay? You're going to keep the weight in your feet, and you're going to squat down. You're going to hold as much as you can, okay? You're going to hold as much as you can, and you're going to do a negative, okay? Controlling down, okay? And just come into a deep squat, like a knees over toes squat position. And then from here, you're going to pull as much as you can without using your legs. And then once you bottom out, let's say you stall here, drive with your legs as much as you need to get up to the bar. Then come back down under control. And you're going to practice your repetitions there, okay? That's step one. The next progression would be to use one leg, okay? So if you can do one leg, it's going to look like a pistol, which, by the way, little nugget, this is a great pistol regression, okay? So pistol position, this would be your next progression, okay? You come down, and then drive as much as you need with your leg to get you over the top, okay? So I'm not going to go into too many details on that because we actually have a full detailed body weight intensive course that we'll be launching pretty soon. You guys can check out, but that's a basic one. That's one of the regressions and one of the drills that we have to progress you to that chin up, okay? What you want to focus on here though, again, grip here, thumbless grip. You can, at the end, it's not the end of the world too if you grip it, not the end of the world. Sometimes if it's uncomfortable for you to do this, you can grip it, that's fine. But when you do the pull-up, you definitely want to have a thumbless grip, okay? But grip here, hands in line with the shoulders. Keep the weight as much in your legs as you need to. Really focus on keeping your shoulders connected and not shoulder up. You don't want your shoulder up, you want your shoulder down, okay? Pull your elbows into your pockets. Relax your neck. You're going to come down. Pause. Keep your shoulders connected. Don't let them fall out of position. Keep them in position. Pull. As soon as you bottom out, drive through your legs as much as you need to get you over the bar. And then you're going to repeat. So because you're near the ground, and you can leverage your legs, you can do more repetitions. So I would recommend, same rep scheme. I recommend keeping your reps between 3 to 5, but since you have the ground and you can leverage your legs, you can hit up into the 8 rep range to really keep training your grip, but to really build your arms, really build your biceps. And it's going to be a great way to build muscle in your arms, okay? And it's a great way to build muscle and counteract what the dip does, okay? So this is a regression that you can do with the chin up, and you can even do it with the pull up if you wanted to. All right? So that is the chin up. The chin up regression. And the last exercise is going to be good old fashioned chin up on the bar. Okay? And then of course you've got your tactical pull up. But for building muscle, I really like the chin up over the pull up again because it builds the biceps and it's a great counter to the dip and everything that we're doing. Plus, it gets this supination, okay, that a lot of the times we're lacking in our training, and a lot of times we're more in this pronation, right? So when we're cleaning the kettlebells, we're always in this kind of flexed, nearly somewhat pronated position, but rarely do we train into this position. And for years, I did tactical pull-ups and pretty much never did chin-ups. And then I started getting a lot of tightness in my elbows just from over gripping, because everything that I do in training it's all gripping. Everything from Jiu-Jitsu to deadlifting a barbell, kettlebell, and then of course, body weight pull-ups and whatnot. Everything is in this pronated grip position, and I wasn't getting and stretching the muscles around here around the elbow. And so every time I'd get into this position, man, I'd feel some gnarly stretching, some tightness in this elbow. And it's gotten better, still things for me to work on. But I like this because, for one, I continue to build strength, continue to build muscle, and two, it kind of counteracts a lot of the other gripping, a lot of the other pronated gripping stuff that I do, all right? So same exact thing here. Shoulder position, okay, shoulder width, and then from here, grip, all right? And then grip. Now, this is a personal preference. I don't grip the bar where I go like full palm grip. So I don't grip the pull-up bar. I don't even grip the barbell the way, I don't know, I guess you would grip a dumbbell or something like that. I grip the pull-up bar, I grip the barbell just like I would grip and hook a kettlebell. So I use a hook grip. So I take my fingers, and if you were to take your fingers and push them right to where your callus, top of the callus line hits and stops, that's where I grip. The reason for that is because I'm trying to train my finger strength, which is why people overgrip. People overgrip in their snatches, in their swings, because the fingers are the weak point, and so they feel like they need to overgrip. But ultimately what that does is that starts to create calluses in the center of your palm, calluses and tears. So if you've got calluses and tears in the centers of your palm, or center of your palms, you're overgripping. You're overgripping your bells, you're overgripping the barbell, and you're overgripping the pull-up bar. Okay, so I recommend hook grip on both hands. Okay, so hook grip, you know, you can keep your thumb over or you can lock. Honestly, I don't really think it matters unless you're doing tactical pull-up. Okay, so here, shoulder position, okay, wrist, elbow, and then I align the exact same thing. Now, some differences here. Again, I'm not going to go into too many because this video is already long enough. We want to make sure we maintain the hollow position. I'm not going to get too much into the hollow position. What I want you to just focus on is pointing your toes, squeezing your quads. Point your toes, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes. Point your toes, squeeze your quads, squeeze your glutes. That's what I want you to focus on, okay? So grip, grip. If you're a beginner, I recommend dropping into the hang first, just like we did with the regression. Dropping into the hang first, then step off, okay? Versus just stepping off and kind of falling into it. So I recommend letting the weight sit into your hands, and I recommend this too if you're even just going to start doing dead hangs. If you're just going to do a dead hang and you just want to train your grip, just drop the weight into your hands and then step off, okay? Hook, hook, drop the weight into your hands, and this allows you to take your time with your setup. 1, 2, and then you're ready to pull, okay? So it's been a while since I've done chin-ups, probably been about a few weeks. Let's see how it goes. And I'm really feeling that stretch in the elbows because, again, it's part of the game, right? All right, here we go. Hope I'm all lined up. And they have it. Chin up, okay? Same thing, repetitions. Since these are chin-ups, it's gonna be more challenging. A lot of weight in your hands. I would keep your repetitions to 3 to 5. During my training, my practice, I usually just keep it to 5. I rarely go over 5 repetitions on chin-ups because I don't wanna burn out my elbows because my elbows already suck after 21 plus years of jiu-jitsu. You'll probably notice when I do my chin-ups, like my arms don't bend all the way because I've been trying to break my arms for 20 years. Like I can't touch my shoulders. Like that's it. That's as far as my elbows bend. And so when I do my chin up, I stop here. Like I can't pull myself into the bar. My only option is to continue getting stronger. And when I get here and to pull my elbows back, that's really what you want to try to do. You're not trying to just pull here. You're actually trying to pull, and you're trying to pull that bar through your rib cage. That's like the actual intention, okay? So I can get up there when I get strong enough, you know, I go my ebbs and flows, right? Strength ebbs and flows. I can pull all the way up and get the bar to my chest, but it's not so much like if I come here, this is where my arm stops. So you don't want to move your neck forward because you'll strain your neck. I've done that before. But rather you want to pull the bar through your rib cage. Okay, so that's it. That is how to build muscle with a kettlebell and your body weight, part 2. So just a quick recap. We talked about the row, kettlebell row. From there we went into the ring row. Again, you've got your variations, options you can choose. But I recommend using one kettlebell and then practicing the body weight row as well. And then we have the chin up regression where we've got the rings, you got the row with the rings, and then you actually have your full-on chin up there. And these are some of my favorite ways to build muscle, especially if we're guys, building the guns, if you will. It's a great way to build your biceps, and it's a great way to counter all the tricep work that you'll be doing with the push-up and with the dip. Okay, so that's all I got for this episode. If you're liking these videos, be sure to like it, subscribe, and share it with someone that you think would benefit from this video. That's all I got. See you on the next episode. Let me know how it turns out. Peace.